Sarah, every time I hear someone say ouse instead of house, it takes me straight to East London in my mind. H-dropping is everywhere, but I'm not sure everyone realizes how loaded it actually is.
Honestly, Paul, it's wild how something as tiny as an H can shape people's judgments. Growing up, I'd hear family get teased for dropping their H's, as if it meant something about who we were. It's more than just a sound, it's a social badge.
It is, isn't it? And the way it draws this invisible line between proper talk and local talk always fascinated me. Even now, folks can be judged pretty harshly for it.
Yeah, and what's funny is, it's hardly unique to London. But in this city, the way people treat H-dropping feels almost symbolic, like it's the start of a secret code.
That makes me curious, how did H-dropping even get started in London? Was it always a thing, or did it pop up with certain groups?
It actually has deep roots. If you look back, H-dropping in English goes back centuries, especially in working-class communities. By the 19th century, it was already seen as non-standard. But in the East End, it really became part of local identity.
So it's not just a modern quirk then. It's woven into the city's linguistic DNA. I guess when people label it as wrong, they're ignoring that long history.
Totally. And the funny thing is, RP speakers used to drop their H's too, until the social elite decided to make it a marker of status. Suddenly, not dropping your H became a sign you were proper.
That brings up the million-pound question, why does dropping an H carry so much social weight? I mean, it's just a letter.
It's wild, isn't it? But language is never just about communication. In Britain especially, accents and tiny quirks like this become shorthand for class, education, and even trustworthiness. It's like a verbal uniform.
Sometimes it feels almost unfair, like people can't win. Say your H's, you're putting on airs. Drop them, you're common.
Exactly. There's this double bind, especially in cities as diverse as London. H-dropping can be both a source of pride and a target for prejudice.
Switching gears a bit, let's talk RP. It's basically the gold standard of keeping your H's, right?
That's the stereotype for sure. RP speakers are drilled never to drop an H. It became a hallmark of educated speech, especially once the BBC made it their default accent around the 1920s.
It must have felt like a whole new rulebook for a lot of Londoners hearing themselves on the radio for the first time. Did RP ever really wipe out H-dropping, though?
Not remotely. Even in the poshest circles, you'd catch the odd dropped H. But the expectation stuck. If you wanted to sound proper, you kept your H's crisp.
It's almost the flip side with Cockney, isn't it? In some ways, H-dropping is part of what makes the accent instantly recognizable.
You know, for a lot of East Londoners, dropping H's became a point of pride. It was like, this is who we are. Take it or leave it. My granddad, for example, never met an H he didn't want to ignore.
I love that. It's almost defiant, like owning your roots. And the Cockney accent wouldn't feel half as authentic without it.
Right, and it bled into everyday language so much that even when people moved away, the dropped H's stuck around. It's cultural glue.
Nowadays, with MLE taking off, I wonder how do younger Londoners treat H-dropping? Is it fading, or just evolving?
It's a bit of both. MLE mixes elements from Cockney, Caribbean English, South Asian languages, you name it. Some teens in North London still drop H's, but others don't, especially if they're blending different linguistic backgrounds.
So H-dropping's not as clear-cut as before. It's another tool in the kit, rather than a fixed rule.
Exactly. It's flexible. Kids might switch between dropping and not dropping their H's, depending on who they're with or what vibe they want to give off.
All this talk reminds me I had a mate who'd switch accents at job interviews, suddenly hitting every H. It was almost like a mask.
I've done that. When I was at uni, I'd try to neutralize my accent in seminars, but then slip right back into East End mode with my friends. It gets exhausting, honestly.
It must feel like living in two worlds. Why do you think people feel that pressure so strongly, especially in London?
A lot of it's about fitting in, but also about not wanting to be underestimated. Some folks worry that dropping H's might cost them opportunities, so they adapt on the fly.
I can't help but think about how TV and films play up the H-dropping thing. Every cheeky Londoner character seems to have it turned up to 11.
Yeah, and it can be a blessing and a curse. On one hand, it puts London's diverse voices in the spotlight. But sometimes it slips into caricature territory. Just think of every Cockney villain ever.
Exactly. Like it's shorthand for working class or dodgy. It's powerful, but also reductive.
That's the risk. People start to associate certain ways of talking with stereotypes, and real voices get lost in the mix.
Given all that, do you think attitudes toward H-dropping are actually shifting? Or is the stigma just as strong as ever?
I think it's loosening, bit by bit. Younger Londoners seem less hung up on it. They're exposed to so many accents, they're more adaptable. But in formal settings, old habits die hard.
I guess it's that classic story change comes slow, especially when class and identity are all tangled up in the mix.
And language always lags behind social change. But every new wave of Londoners bends the rules a little more.
Something I find fascinating is how dropping H's can actually serve as a secret handshake, like a way of signaling you're in the know.
It's like an urban password. You spot someone dropping their H's in the right place, and you just know they grew up around here. It's a kind of spoken wink.
And it can change the whole dynamic. Suddenly you're less of a stranger, more of a local.
That's the magic of it. Sometimes not following the rules is what really makes you belong.
Looking ahead, do you reckon H-dropping will die out? Or is it going to stick around?
Honestly, I doubt it'll ever fully disappear. Even as accents evolve, there's always room for a bit of rebellion. Plus, new generations keep finding creative ways to use it sometimes, just to wind up their parents.
That's true. Language is stubborn, and Londoners love a bit of linguistic mischief.
Exactly. And as long as there are communities proud of where they're from, H-dropping will be right there with them.
So, after all this, I suppose the real story is that London's H-dropping is just one thread in a much bigger fabric.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder that no single way of speaking is more authentic than another. Each voice, dropped H's or not, tells a bit of London's story.
Maybe that's the point. Embracing the mix, the messiness, is what makes this city's language so alive.
Couldn't agree more, Paul. Here's to all the accents, quirks, and the proud H-droppers out there. London wouldn't be London without them.